If you've ever heard of CrossFit, and if you have, then congratulations, you don't live under a rock, then chances are that some of this is sounding rather familiar. CrossFit is a sport that's been taking the fitness industry by storm and has been gradually moving our training towards a more functional style for some time now. But at the same time, CrossFit is also quite controversial. And I'm going to take a look at that in this video to see whether that controversy is warranted. The idea behind CrossFit is simple: to provide you with cross-modal fitness. The CrossFit athlete should be someone who is not only very strong but also very agile, very resilient and very flexible. The annual CrossFit Games challenge their athletes to do a bunch of different exercises like lifting weights with compound lifts for multiple sets, and then go on long runs, climb ropes, and then perform tons of pull-ups called kipping pull-ups. The winner of these games is then crowned the fittest man or fittest woman alive. On the face of it, this is a great idea. Fitness should be cross-modal. If you're an athlete competing in the Olympics, then sure, one type of training is likely to be best for you and to yield the best results. For everyone else, though, there's little use in being really strong if you're not flexible, or in being really fast if you can't run very far. The best kind of fitness for everyday life is jack-of-all-trades fitness. So it's a great idea. Why then the controversy? Well, it actually comes down to several things. The biggest concern for many is the lack of regulation. CrossFit gyms are called boxes, and in order to open up a gym and start training people, you only need to go on a very short 3-day course. This means that all kinds of people are running classes, and that's leading to people getting injured. Of course, the same could be said for fitness in general to some extent, but in CrossFit it's rife. The other problem is with some of the programming. CrossFit encourages people to perform deadlifts, for instance, after running huge distances and for gigantic sets. The result is that they start to lose their form and become much more likely to injure themselves. Olympic lifts and deadlifts aren't designed to be performed for large amounts of repetitions, and this causes injury. There are other similar problems elsewhere in the program too. The kipping pull-up is another recommendation that comes under fire from some pundits. This is a pull-up that's designed to be performed for high reps and, as such, encourages you to swing your body into the movement. The problem with this is that it commonly leads to injury yet again and teaches bad form. If you go to the CrossFit website, you'll find a new WOD there each day. This is a workout of the day, and it's a recommended training challenge that CrossFit fans can choose to follow and that some boxes will offer their clients. The problem is that these workouts seem to be completely random. One day you're running 6 miles, the next day you're performing ring dips to failure. That's the point, sure, but when the programming follows no rhyme or reason like this, it means you can end up training the same body part twice in rapid succession, or using technical movements when you're feeling tired and exhausted. Even more random is the fact that the CrossFit website sometimes recommends the WOD to be an off day. What if someone wants their off day to be on a different day of the week? What if their training schedule doesn't fit with their precise routine? It's all a bit strange, and the almost cult-like dedication seen by some people only makes it worse. There's certainly good to be taken from CrossFit, and if you find a good box, then it can offer great instruction and a motivating community around your fitness. This is undoubtedly the direction that fitness will be taking in the future. But for now, approach with caution and a heavy dollop of cynicism. A lesser known but certainly no less cool fitness movement is that of MovNat. MovNat means move natural, and it's all about doing exactly that, moving the way our bodies were designed to move in the environments that we were designed to move them in. So what does this entail? It means climbing trees. It means trail running, barefoot of course. It means hopping against rocks, and it means climbing cliff faces. It also means swimming in cold rivers, which by the way has a ton of health benefits, throwing logs around and carrying other heavy objects long distances. Not only is this kind of training fun, but it's also very good for developing all kinds of motor skills that you probably didn't even think about anymore. Things like grip strength for climbing and forming calluses to toughen up. Of course, there are problems with too many embracing this type of training too. One is that many of us aren't fortunate enough to have a huge sunny woodland to go running in. If you live somewhere cold and urban, then MovNat might mean running to the nearest park and splashing through mud in the rain. Another issue here, of course, is the lack of instruction or structure. This is a pretty good way to get hurt, and it's hard to know if you're progressing. Don't completely embrace all these movements then, just take from them what's useful. In the case of MovNat, remember that anything can be training, and there's a lot of good to be gained from just getting outside. Start with structured training plans to restore your freedom of movement, your strength and your confidence. Once you've done this though, you should then start to experiment with your new movement framework. Don't be afraid to try new things and to listen to your body while you train. If something feels like a workout for the muscles, then it probably is. Who cares if you can't find it in a book anywhere?